In his chambers in the Roman capital, Ptolemaeus' brother Magnus, a respected member of the king's court, had just fallen into a deep sleep. Mendacius, the god of trickery and deceit, approached him in a dream.
Magnus, advisor to King Titus, brother of the general of Rome, I am the all-powerful god Mendacius. Do you not want more than you have been given?
It is true, I once desired power, but that is not possible with King Titus on the throne. Besides, what could someone such as yourself possibly want with me, my lord?
I could grant you your desire for power. You could be the emperor and ruler of all. All I would ask for is one thing in return.
At the same time, Ptolemaeus, a great warrior and the prized general of Rome, had just completed his conquest of Alexandria and was setting sail across the Mediterranean. A few days later, his ship docked in Rome and he went with his men to the Grand Palace. When he arrived at the throne room to deliver his report to the king, he was immediately greeted by Magnus.
Hello, dear brother. You have arrived just in time to hear the most revolutionary theory anyone's come up with in centuries.
Have I now?
Indeed. I was just about to begin.
Well then, by all means, continue.
I have received knowledge from the heavenly spirits that the gods we have blindly followed for centuries are nothing more than cowardly and selfish. So in order to gain happiness and prosperity for all, we must place our faith in one all-powerful God.
This
we
is
cannot follow
preposterous.
through with this.
Interesting.
Silence! Such talk is prohibited. I've spent my entire life serving the gods, fighting and conquering in their names, and now you seek to dismantle them?
Do not criticize the one God who actually cares about our empire. Do you truly believe your gods are so almighty? Then prove it, Ptolemaeus, if you cannot leave at once.
Ptolemaeus left the courtroom bewildered, unable to comprehend why his brother would believe such outrageous ideas. He was lost in thought when suddenly he saw a strange blinding light and heard an angelic voice.
I am Minerva, goddess of knowledge and the arts. I am here to offer guidance. Mendacius, the god of trickery and deceit, is interfering in the human world by making a deal with your brother to unimaginable power. If they succeed, the heavens and the earth will be destroyed forever. You, Ptolemaeus, must stop them before it is too late.
Whatever you need, I will do it. I swear by my name. They will not succeed.
Gather your loyal companions and carefully heed my pleas. 3 tasks you must complete and 3 objects you must retrieve. First, travel south towards the Mediterranean skies, and when calamity befalls your friends, the gods shall hear your cries.
Ptolemaeus gathered the noblemen loyal to him, and they began to trek towards the Mediterranean. They soon found themselves in a market in Sicily, surrounded by insulas of bustling plebeians and shops full of olives, grapes, and wines. Suddenly, Ptolemaeus' companions saw a unit of kingsmen who immediately sought to capture the group their king was looking for. A fight quickly broke out among the men. Ptolemaeus, upon seeing what was happening, was struck with horror and rushed forward to help his men, but before reaching them, his most loyal friend, Thaddeus, fell to the ground, dead.
In a state of shock and hatred, Ptolemaeus drew his sword and unrelentingly killed all the enemy soldiers in order to protect his remaining men. Then in a grief-ridden trance, he heard a familiar angelic voice.
Do not grieve, Ptolemaeus. The deaths may be hard, but they are a necessary sacrifice.
But how am I to go on when I know I'm responsible for these deaths?
You must continue on if you want to stop the evil your brother will bring to Rome. This is the first of the 3 artifacts I told you of, the ones that will save your empire. So gather your remaining men and heed my words once more. Continue your voyage across perilous waters, where misfortune may leave you aghast. But don't fret, for you'll find a prize long lost, and that shall be the second task.
Ptolemaeus and his remaining noblemen purchased a ship to continue their journey across the Mediterranean. After traveling eastward for some time, they came across deranged pirates in search of gold and pleasures. The pirates launched harpoons onto their victims' deck, but were surprised when Ptolemaeus rushed courageously into battle, slaying the enemies with just a glance. And before any of his men could even pick up their swords, he held the pirate leader's head in his hands. The noblemen then took over the pirate ship and began searching it for more supplies. They quickly came across an old wooden chest. It was bolted shut, but even the thick locks were no match for Ptolemaeus' strength. The chest filled with tanned parchment paper covered in a strange language that seemed to change before the men's eyes. They quickly realized it was a Dead Sea Scroll, that a hasty message was written over the religious text. It started glowing in front of Ptolemaeus' eyes.
To defeat your atrocious enemies, heed my words with caution and care. Traveling has come with great uncertainties, but go towards my temple for your final affair.
When their ship arrived to Athens, Ptolemaeus and his men traveled to Minerva's temple as the last part of the riddle had instructed them. Once reaching the Corinthian pillars of the holy shrine, Ptolemaeus told his men to wait outside and entered the temple alone. In the middle of the vast room stood a statue of the goddess, stretching up towards the ceiling far above his head. He watched the statue of the goddess vanish before his eyes in a cloud of smoke, and kneeled as Minerva appeared in her ethereal form.
You have finally arrived, Ptolemaeus. Are you prepared to put an end to Mendacius' trickery?
Yes.
I will now aid you once more. The sword Xyphus is used to trap spirits and gods with evil intentions. You will use Xyphus to imprison Mendacius after killing his human vessel.
Kill? My brother? But I thought I was tasked only to put an end to Mendacius.
One cannot be defeated without the other. It is the only way.
Ptolemaeus was suddenly overcome with sorrow worse than he had ever felt before. Despised Magnus's actions, the warrior loved his brother and never wanted any harm to befall him. But to know the fate of his own blood was on his shoulders was too much to bear.
I cannot do it. I've done many things for the gods. I've brought kings and sovereigns to their knees. But to kill my brother? I've loved him my entire life. So how will I be able to complete this task? I can't.
You must. The only way to entrap and be rid of Mendacius is to kill Magnus. The final decree is in your hands, but remember, your actions will affect your people.
Ptolemaeus remained quiet but nodded his head. Minerva's words comforted him. She was right. He didn't want to kill his brother, but if the end of one life brought prosperity to all others, there would be no more hesitation.
I wish you the best of luck, and know, great warrior, that the gods stand behind you.
Ptolemaeus left the temple with Xyphus, his head held higher, and gathered his companions to face the wrath of Mendacius and confront his brother one last time.
When Ptolemaeus returned to Rome, he grabbed Xyphus and headed towards the newly made Colosseum. He was prepared to face Mendacius' wrath, so he made his presence known to the people of the kingdom and waited for his brother to arrive. Magnus's voice was blended by another's as he spoke.
Welcome back, dear brother. I've awaited your arrival so I can finally imprison you for your crimes against the Roman Empire.
No, I wish to apprehend you instead. You will turn this nation into one of death and destruction. I cannot stand by you while you destroy this world and the next.
Oh, do you plan to kill your own brother then?
You are not my brother. You are the god of trickery, Mendacius. You have possessed my brother's body, and you alone are the reason for this madness. To save everyone, I must put a stop to your actions.
You forget. It was us both that agreed upon this arrangement. So this is Magnus's doing as much as it is mine.
Ptolemaeus lunged at Mendacius, but the god dodged him with ease and drew his sword. They both took many blows at each other, but neither was relenting. Then, after a final sweep of his sword, Ptolemaeus hovered over Magnus, but didn't bring the blade down immediately.
Do it. Bring the blade down and end your brother's life, since we both know he doesn't deserve your mercy.
In Ptolemaeus' moment of hesitation, Mendacius brought out a poison-tipped dagger and plunged it into Ptolemaeus' side. Ptolemaeus grunted in pain, but refusing to let himself be beat, launched back into the fight.
You think you can kill me, boy? You think one needle sword can stop the all-powerful God?
You fool. This is not just any sword. This is Xyphus, the sword of light, endowed with the power to trap great spirits within its blade. It has been gifted to me for the purpose of stopping your cruel reign.
Before Mendacius could escape the warrior, Ptolemaeus lunged forward and drove the sword into his brother's chest. Ptolemaeus lunged forward and drove the sword into his brother's chest. Both brothers, mortally wounded, laid beside each other on the ground. Both brothers, mortally wounded, laid beside each other, living the final moments of their lives. Magnus spoke
I
one
never
last time.
imagined this would happen. When Mendacius first visited me, promising
Oh, my dear
empty
brother.
promises,
It
I
is
never
tragic how
imagined
our
this would
lives
happen.
must be cut
I am
short.
so sorry,
But now,
Ptolemaeus.
I can leave this world knowing I have saved our people by ridding the empire of your great evil one last time. No one may ever know what truly befell here today. But there was no other way. But I will always remember you. It is tragic how our lives must be cut short. We will always be together. I can leave this world knowing I
As the
have
two
saved our
brothers drew
people
their
by
last
ridding the
breaths,
empire of a great
Ptolemaeus
evil.
looked up to see
No
a
one
faint
may
glowing
ever
light
know what
appear in
truly
front of
befell
them.
here today.
Out of it
But I
stepped
will
a
always
familiar
remember
figure.
you.
Come,
No matter where we
it
end
is
up in the
time.
afterlife, we will always be together.
As the two brothers drew their last breaths, Ptolemaeus looked up to see a faint glowing light appear in front of them. Out of it stepped a familiar figure.
Come, it is time.